Hey, hi, Len. Thank you for the opportunity once again. So this is a different book, AI Generalist Engineer. So who have most of the people these days, they are started using AI, but using AI, how you can build it also, you need to learn. That is how you can effectively build many things. So if anyone don't know me, my name is Padmanabham Venkiteela. So I have written a couple of books, initially AI, around AI, two volumes. It's called as, I will show you the book. So there are Enterprise AI Architecture Volume 1 and Volume 2 I have written. Now this is the new book, is AI Generalist Engineer. More focus, this is for whoever is using AI and they don't know how to build using AI. You don't need coding. It's a fully no code, low code. Who don't know writing any code, they might be using a chatbots currently using a ChatGPT or a Claude or some other tool, right? Now, if you know how to use it using the same framework as a generalist, there are hundreds of tools is available in market. How you can use those, you can increase your productivity 10x, 20x, right? How you can do yours, that is what it will teach this book. So who can use this book? Any software or a platform engineers who knows already they know how to ship the systems, right? Just you can use AI capability and excel the things. If someone is a AI or a ML engineer, they can use, they know already strong in models, right? How do they want to surround the competencies, um, grounding, orchestration, integrity, right? They can use it. Or enterprise solution architects or integration architects, they can use it. Technical leads, engineers, consultants, either even students, right? They're just moving into the AI engineers, so they can start learning this book. By using that, they can implement.
Yeah, you have a
So
just to
this is
jump in for a second there. You have a really great line at the beginning of the book where you say AI is the fastest churning technology wave any of us has seen. The discipline matters more here, not less. And I just wanted to jump in before you carry on because you know, we the books like this are so good because especially for teams because they're setting a shared and like teams at different levels of the enterprise, which is what your book is really doing. Is it's saying like everybody everywhere in the enterprise now has to understand how it's all fitting together. You don't have to all be doing the same work, but you all have to have some understanding of where it's all fitting together. And the key there is that it's the fastest churning technology. We've all heard of like things coming in, like all of a sudden I've got a computer on my desk, or all of a sudden we've got the internet or something like that. But imagine that kind of thing was happening every week. Your book is there to provide the kind of structure and shared understanding for just there's going to be new models, there's going to be new this and that and the other thing, but your enterprise is going to be there a year from now or 2 years from now, 2 years from now. So what kind of work do you need to do to be able to just survive and compete in that environment? So I just wanted to throw that in there. Please carry on.
yes. So as I said, different level of peoples, right? Maybe entry level, or you know already systems, or you are an expert, right? How do you excel? Whatever, wherever, whichever level. Not necessary you need to be a programming. You are any model you take, a medical or a civil or engineering or any field. How you can excel your productivity using AI? You need to increase your level of capacity, right? So this book, it will teach a basic understanding. What is the core concept, fundamentals of enterprise AI? This book talk about. There are five, six sections is available. I split it as a different section. Each section, first you're gonna learn about the fundamentals of enterprise AI. So where, what is first of all AI? Why it called as a generalist, right? It doesn't matter. You need to be specific focus on. You are a generalist. Whichever sector, whichever field, how you can apply AI and what tools you can use it. The basic foundation, if you know, you can able to apply any field. That is called as generalist. It doesn't matter. You need to be expert in a specific area. So how these days AI is why a generalist is more important. I talked about the fundamentals of enterprise. The first part is the fundamentals of enterprise AI. What is, first of all, LLM, right? What is prompt engineering? How do you do prompt? If you do proper prompt, you will get most of the details. Using the prompt, you can build so many things. All communication, AI and the human is only prompt. How do you write? How can you excel that as advanced prompts, right? So these are all the first part. It will cover fundamentals. If you know, then you can do grounding, right? Grounding a enterprise knowledge means you are giving a knowledge. Knowledge can be a different type of knowledge, whether it might be database or it's a book or specific sector specific knowledge you are giving to those models. That means you are adding additional tools. You are giving more knowledge to the LLM. So it's a kind of a RAG system. How to build a RAG, right? Retrieve augmented generation by applying the knowledge, enterprise knowledge to the model. That is how, what level of details you are expecting. You are fine tuning, grounding. That is what the second part of this book it will talk about. Then, how do you connect the systems? You have many systems, right? You have a LLM, you have a knowledge, you have a many enterprise systems. In anywhere, you need to connect the systems. How easily you can able to connect it? There is a model context protocol, right? How you are connecting all these systems to the model so that when you ask by using knowledge, it will connect all the systems and it will give you the details. So how to connect, how securely you can connect those systems, I talked about a part 3. Then you have everything. Start building an agent. So how to automate? You build the agent. How do you automate a repeated task, right? That is a key thing. That is a part 4 is covered. Automate the foundation, build a first AI agent, right? Once you build an agent, you can build a number of agents. How do you do a multi-agent system? So agent can call one more agent. Agent can call different agents. It's a multi-agent orchestration system. How do you build it, right? So I talked about under section 4. And also you can do voice agent. Now these days, many people, they want a kind of a feel and touch having a communication. So it can be a normal agent or it can be a voice agent, a different type of agents you can build it. How to build a voice agent? What type of tools is available? How you can jump in that space? So I talked about that automation. Now you build a powerful, you wanted to build all this connectivity. There is a building AI powered applications. You need some development tools where you can connect all the MCPs, knowledge. If required, a basic stuff, you give a prompt, it will build entire code for you. You can see that if you are a real coder, you can enhance it. Even though you are starting, you are doing. If you wanted to do back and forth modification, fine tuning, somewhere you need a control, right? That is called as a IDE. You can use a cursor, anti-gravity. There are every vendor have their own platform is available. So what are those? How you can use those IDEs so that way you can have a build a powerful AI powered application. The last part is, yeah, okay, you built a lot of stuff here and there. How in an enterprise architecture, you need to understand how solid, what is the blueprint, what are the security you need to apply, what are the governances, compliance you need to apply, right? How do you scale these into larger organizations? So security is a main thing. So how do you manage fine tuning? Cost is a one more big thing. How do you control the cost, right? So the future perspective, what is really you need to think before you start some of these aspects, right? End of the day, cost, ROI, it should be meaningful. So those I little bit touch based on this book. So high level, anyone, any person, straight away if they wanted to jump on this to understand this book, which will really help. And also, whoever is a coders, they wanted to touch and feel and do things. I have shared a Git repository link also. Every chapter, I put some basic code, right? They can execute, they can experiment, they can test it. All those is available. End of this book, I have each chapter point of view. I have given a references. I put my Git repository also open source. I gave the links in this book, so pretty much is everything as a part of book, you will get it. So yeah, everything is available. So here is.
Perfect. Oh, there it is in print. That's awesome. So thank you so much for that really great explanation. One thing I want to convey to people about the book is the book has this very kind of rational structure of these different parts that are kind of building from end to end. But there are, as you mentioned, there are three different ways to read it, and there's front to back. You know, like if you're, you know, a kind of like if you're a philosopher, you might do it that way. But there's also by part and or competency, and then there's by reference. So like, oh, I'm running into this issue, I'm running into that issue. I've got a team that needs to address this and that. And the wonderful thing about it having those ways of reading it at the same time as there's this structure is that if you take the time to think first, as you said, then you know where you are. You might not know the whole details of everything, but you know where when you're acting or learning, you know where you are within this kind of conceptual structure, and that's a really important part of books like this and why they work so well. So Padmanabham, thank you so much for taking the time to do this video with me today, and thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with all of us and for that very clear, you know, systematic explanation of this very clear and systematic book.
Sure. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you, Alan.